Hello and welcome to SideQuest, DCP SideQuest, episode number 117, 117. Isn't that Master Chief?
117.
Isn't that
Yeah.
Bonsoir
That's
Chef?
Master Chief.
Let's Google also
I
what
could-
it means.
I just-
Numerology.
Can't believe it's the
Okay.
Master Chief episode and we have no Halo news to talk about.
It
mean,
signifies introspection and new
About-
beginnings.
About sums it up.
Eh,
New beginning.
uh,
117
it
That's what we're
signifies-
known
episodes.
for.
it
Introspection.
signifies manifesting good things into our lives, which we sure are today with all the good
Yeah, we
video
are.
games.
Good games coming.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Numerology, it's real.
It's the God's honest truth.
I never knew that was what you're supposed to Google because in the earlier shows where I tried to find number facts, I just used to Google like number facts, but it doesn't really give me the answer I was looking for.
Oh.
Didn't know
Yeah.
it was called numerology.
Numerology.
Yeah,
It's the
numerology. Yeah.
ology of new numbers.
What are your angels telling you?
That's exactly what it is.
So, there's some interesting stuff to talk about.
Sure is.
I'm very excited. I'm going to interrupt you a lot, and I'm going to scream.
I heard
Okay.
there's a certain Soulsborne style game that got some
Really? I've never heard of it. What's it called?
it's like
Never
Skyrim
heard
meets
of it.
Souls, that type of
It's
thing.
the Skyrim. I will kill
The
you.
Breath
all.
of the Wild.
So the Elden Ring trailer came out and it
Yeah,
showed what,
gameplay.
like 15 minutes
Trailer.
of gameplay.
15,
And
yeah.
Mm.
wow, I gotta say,
Wow.
Looks
it
incredible.
looked pretty crazy.
Ugh.
It really gave strong, obviously like Soulsborne like vibes, but also very strong, I thought, Zelda vibes in the way that you navigate and the way that you interact with the maps and set waypoints for yourself. You're not doing that that Ubisoft way of open worlding where there's just all these like things on the map that
yeah.
you've got to go
A million
complete.
things
Yeah.
to go
It's
tackle.
much more like Zelda, where you see something on the map that you want to go do, and you can go and place a marker that puts this like light beam up.
I
and
really
you
like
can,
that.
navigate
I
toward
love
it. Yeah,
that.
yeah, that's
I
a really
wish-
fun way to
yeah.
do
I
it.
wish more games would do that. It's like a ping system for your solo PvE experience,
Yeah,
Like I want
it's
to ping
so
this
cool.
map. Yeah.
Instead of having to like look at the compass and be like, I can't read a compass, so I'm
Yeah.
still lost after having put down
Or
the
you-
waypoints.
You're looking at the compass and there's a dot on the compass. So you keep on like
Yeah.
reorienting for the dot. It's like now you can just look up and see the light.
It stops me
pylon.
looking at maps and stuff, which is what I
Yeah.
love so much about Ghost of Tsushima is that I could just look at the world, and I
Mhm.
would much
Mhm.
prefer to just put my marker down, look at the world, than having to bring up my map constantly and see if I'm going the right way or follow a compass.
But also, I
Yeah.
don't want that waypoint like arrow in game, right? That,
Yeah.
that like
Yeah.
kind of is pointing you toward where you're supposed to be going, like obstructively. Like I keep watching Forza gameplay and how they show the arrow on the road. It's like here's where you're supposed to go and the line
yeah.
you're supposed to take. I'm like, oh, that's not fun. I don't want that in a game. I want to just
Mhm.
intuit by myself where I'm supposed to go,
Yeah.
and that's what I like about that
Yeah.
waypoint system.
Real quick. Did you buy Forza and play it early? Or are we going to have to wait to hear about this until after?
No, we're gonna have to wait. I'm definitely gonna go with the free version.
Okay, same,
Going on
same.
Game Pass.
So I just want
Yeah,
anybody to
Game
know
Pass.
if they're looking for some Forza content, we're probably not going to talk too
Next
much
week.
about it. Yeah,
Next week.
So yeah, Elden Ring, that gameplay checked all the boxes for me. And I was gonna say
Oh,
with the map stuff, it's interesting that like this is the first time they've ever had a map in a game, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Think
Souls
so,
games
yeah.
don't
Think
have
so, right?
maps.
Yeah, this is a first time thing that FromSoft is experimenting with, which makes you wonder how big is this game actually going to be if they had to
Yeah.
put a map in it, because they
Their
don't.
biggest
That is-
game ever.
Right, they're
Also,
saying
will
the
the
biggest
physical
game.
edition come with a paper map that I can get framed and put on
Just-
my wall?
That
Put
would have
it
been
on
cool. Unfortunately,
10 by
yeah, they haven't said that so because they showed the physical like edition, but like it does seem like an oversight.
did,
There is
yeah.
no map.
hmm
It's their first map. I'd love to have a map. Their first map.
Yeah, let's have the first map.
Yeah, maps are cool.
Yeah.
That map looks
They are.
great.
Love maps.
Also, what they showed.
Yeah, the design
that-
was really cool.
I know. I was like, this is a
Yeah.
beautiful looking map. Love that. But it does make you wonder, like how. Like, I know they said it's the biggest one they've made so far, but how big? If they had to
How
put a map
much
in
bigger
there,
are we talking?
right?
True.
And you always have a mount. Like they showed that it looks like you always have the ability to summon your horse, your mythical beast, underneath you at any given
Yeah.
time and traverse the land. Right?
It looked
Yeah.
from that gameplay trailer that the areas that you're in that they showed are pretty densely packed. Like it's not going to
Yeah.
be a situation where I get on my horse and I ride for 15, 20 minutes. You know, like that's what I'm hoping anyway, because I get real bored of that real quick. Like Red Dead Revolver, Red Dead Redemption.
Redemption.
Yeah.
Revolver would have been a good name.
That was the
That was the
first
first-
game, I think.
the
Revolver
original,
was
yeah.
the first
Yeah.
game.
It's a good name.
Redemption, like I got so bored of riding my horse around that had like this like button that you could push to just like auto ride, and I would like walk away from the
cinematic
game
mode.
while I'm trying to get from place to place. Like
that's one of my pet peeves with like open world. It's like for a while companies used to be like, we just want to be able to say in the marketing brief we've got the biggest open world to date, and it's like I don't want a big open world if there's nothing to do there. Like
I want a living world, a world that feels alive, that makes a reason for it to be open. I want secrets hidden, and I want to find these things somewhat often, you know, where you find something cool, even if it's a little thing. Yeah.
Right. I also don't want just stamps of the same thing over and over again, a la Far Cry, right? Where it's like, oh, here's a compound that you have to infiltrate and destroy. No, I don't really like that either. I thought that actually Ghost of Tsushima was guilty of that, right? It's like they'd have these kind of stamps of things that you had to do over and over again.
Yeah, that's why I really enjoyed, like, I know it wasn't perfect, but that's why I really enjoyed Breath of the Wild, because although in some elements, some people say Breath of the Wild's world was quite barren, I feel like it also had so many interesting elements where, like, they didn't have those kind of typical tropes of, like, you had a few camps of goblins and stuff, but it wasn't, like, in the traditional Far Cry way. It was more just like, oh, you've gone and climbed this interesting-looking mountain. Oh, there's something there. I feel like Zelda, at least, even if the world was a bit barren, it always rewarded you for being, like, an adventurer.
Mm-hmm.
The best thing about Zelda's open world to me, and I hope this is true with Elden Ring too, is that every time something caught your eye, there was something to do or find there.
Yeah.
Like, there could be open plains with nothing to do that you just they were just there for you to get across. But like if something caught your eye, there was something there. There was something to do, something to see, something to collect.
100%. So we did see in this trailer that they basically stumbled into a dungeon, okay? And it didn't appear that this dungeon, the early one was a you have to do this dungeon to progress the game or anything like that. It was like here's a dungeon in a cliff. Maybe you want to spelunk it.
Hidden dungeons, hidden catacombs with like bosses in there, and loot is incredibly exciting because, you know, like when you come across a boss in Souls games, it's always exciting because you're gonna fight this really cool thing and then maybe you get a cool ability after. But to stumble upon something random and fight something optional is even more exciting.
Yeah, that's cool. So all right,
that was like kind of in Breath of the Wild, like just going random places and finding like a Lionel and be like, oh no.
Yeah, exactly.
It's good stuff.
Yeah.
It does make me concerned a little bit about the pacing, you know, because Souls games have a definite, this is how you, or it's a handcrafted experience of how you pace through the game. And with an open world, you know, you basically have a lot of choose your own way. Like that's what Breath of the Wild was. Like you could pick whatever main fortress you want to go through first, and then when you've done them all, go into the end part. Or bypass it all together.
Yeah.
Bypass it all. It just goes right to the end.
So
I wonder whether they'll like, because I mean, from what they showed, like the gameplay trailer, like there was kind of the opening part they did, and then they kind of like moseyed into the castle, and there was like the NPC that was like, "Hello, I feel like you should take this path." I wonder whether they'll kind of strike the right balance of like you have the opening segments where you can go and do stuff in between, and then it's like, all right, let me get back on the golden line, and then you wander into the castle, and then you're more familiar like Demon Souls, like there are a few fixed pathways and go through this corridor, and here's a big story boss.
So it's funny you said golden line because the images they put out today on their Twitter, it's literally a golden line. It's like, hey, you know, this is the way to go. You don't have to go there, but like, you know, this is the way. So you know, so it's. I think considering it's their first open world game, I think it's really smart the way that they're doing it because it is open world in the land in between, but there are these segments that are more kind of like traditional Souls, right? Which we saw with the castle, where you go in the castle and you're there to complete that section. And then you go kill the demigod, and then you can move on to do some more like open world stuff, or you could just go to the next main area.
Yeah, it looked like there was a bonfire.
Castle, you enter the castle, and the dude's like, yeah, you shouldn't go in the front door. You should definitely go in the side door. And the guy just goes in the front door, gets immediately fucked up.
He's like, never mind.
What about that side door?
Like, okay, I don't blame him, because that guy didn't look very trustworthy, to be honest.
No, he didn't.
Yeah. Yeah, all those dungeons, they had like a bonfire in the beginning. So again, different from a typical Souls game. You know, you're going through this open area, and then you show up to a dungeon, and you hit the bonfire to have your checkpoint or whatever. Like, fascinating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Saw a little bit of traversal in that open world as well. Obviously, you got a horse. You can. It doesn't look like you can take damage from falling. At least not a significant. Like you could fall a significant way without dying. And then it also they showed this kind of like jump pad that you can get up a high cliff by just
that was cool.
kind of running up to,
Yeah,
just
some
like
sort of
vaulting.
astral boost or something.
The landscape looks very three-dimensional, which like at first I was like, that looks amazing. And then I was like, is it going to be really hard to navigate that environment? Like, am I going to see a point, like, you know, like let's say you place a marker a couple of miles away and you can see that light beam going up. Is it going to be very difficult for me to get there? Or, you know, am I just going to be able to use these navigation tools to kind of get there? Like, it'll be interesting to see what they do there.
What if you can unlock stuff to traverse the landscape better? Maybe that's how they open it up.
Glider.
Yeah, they're going to give you a glider.
A glider, but only for your horse.
Yeah, you're going to have a stamina meter that you increase by doing shrines.
A motorcycle made out of the legs of the dead.
I'd like that.
Oh, dear.
That'd be great.
I like as well just the freedom just to jump as well, because like again in I like you think about sort of kind of previous sort of Souls games. I know there's like you can kind of shimmy off ledges and stuff, but like having that freedom, I guess like Sekiro did it, right? Having that freedom to jump just means that suddenly you don't have to be like, I'm gonna follow the pathway or like where they've carefully laid out for me to go. It's like I'm gonna try and because that's what's me exciting to see, like the speedrunners be like, how am I gonna jump up this castle wall and do this a lot from just do some stupid stuff.
Absolutely, yeah. It seems like a definite evolution.
Oh yeah.
From
the combat looked like it had quite a bit of variety.
Yeah.
They showed crazy.
The
they
spells
showed a
do
bunch
look
of different
incredible.
characters, kind of all doing different stuff. They showed a knight fighting a dragon right at the beginning, who's mainly focused on like a sword. I never saw any shields. Was there a shields gameplay in that?
I can't remember.
I don't remember seeing that. And then there was kind of like a wizard kind of looking character that did a lot of spell casting, which looked really fun.
Yeah, it's another thing that FromSoft has said, that in terms of build differences, this is going to be the game where you have the most choice and most differences between builds. So
that's something saying coming from them.
Very enticing.
Seriously, that's
So
I was
it's a
saying,
huge game for them.
I was saying this feels, from the looks of this video, it feels like an evolution of everything that they really have done. Like there's elements of Sekiro in there, there's elements of Bloodborne, there's elements obviously of early Souls and all that, with the evolution of now having this open world in there. That's cool. Yeah,
very cool. Yeah,
it's really like I have high expectations for Elden Ring, but then I saw the gameplay trailer and I was like, "You exceeded my expectations with this trailer. How did you do that?" It's really quite phenomenal. We also see that you can craft on the fly. You don't need to go somewhere to do any crafting. We see the character craft like 30 sleep arrows just in their menu, which is cool. But the thing that was most intriguing to me was in the beginning, we see them co-op with another player, and the player used an ability where they pull out a big dragon head and shoot fire at the enemy.
That looks crazy.
It looks insane. And then we go further on in the gameplay trailer, and we see that there's a boss where one of his abilities is a dragon head that shoots fire. So that was kind of a connection of like, oh, hey. So we're gonna kill a boss and get one of his abilities.
Weapons.
Boss abilities, boss weapons.
Yeah, I mean that's another classic thing that they've done in the past with Dark Souls. So seeing that come forward again, like I'm wondering if you could craft, like they've done in the past, multiple different types of things. So every playthrough you kill that boss, then you get one option to craft what type of weapon.
That would be cool.
Because
we also saw like a day-night cycle, which makes me wonder, like, are there going to be secrets that you can only find in the night, or secrets you can only find in the day? Like maybe they're the people who were had like the stagecoach with the treasure on it. Maybe they're only out at night because they're traversing in the evening. So many questions and
many questions. Speaking of that,
I'd be surprised if there's I'd be surprised if there's not a ton of obscure secrets in this game. In the open world.
There has to be, right? Like that's their thing.
It's just their thing.
You brought up the stagecoach, and they made a point to highlight that they were like, hey, that stagecoach has loot, but there's enemies around it. We should probably engage. And like that is really exciting to see the potential of maybe there's elements of just randomness that pops up, like a Destiny Patrol style type of thing, where like, oh, this event is now happening in this area, where you get Dark Souls loot in there. That's really cool. I can't wait to see what
really cool.
If it really feels somewhat alive, or if it's a predictable pattern. Most of the time there's been predictability in Souls games, but it's been handcrafted, so it's really good predictability. I don't know how much of that they're gonna bring in. Maybe it's gonna be a bunch of handcrafted stuff that's random.
Yeah, that could be cool.
Yeah, it's looking good.
Man, and
this game is coming out February what? February
25th.
25th. That's right.
3 days after Witchcreen.
Yep.
That's all right. You don't need 3 days for Destiny. It's easy, right? First day, complete
I'm gonna
story.
finish
Second day,
all my weekly stuff in those 3 days, so I can put it down for a week and then go play Elden Ring.
Yep.
Easy.
as long as they don't say
No
the
sweat.
raid is going live on the 25th.
Oh my
'Cause
god!
I'm quitting.
Welcome to the Elden Ring Community Podcast.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Are you guys ready to move off Elden Ring? I got a couple other games I'd love to talk about.
I want to talk about the how the castle looked. Like the castle looked
Oh my god.
humongous and beautiful, and so many ways you can go, which is
The different
incredibly
pathways.
exciting. Yeah,
Awesome.
the different pathways was super cool.
Yeah.
And the boss,
After seeing Demon Souls, the remake that came out for the PlayStation 5 at the PlayStation 5 launch, I was kind of wondering what to expect visually from an actual From Software developed game, especially in an open world, where in an open world, generally you're not going to get quite the high fidelity that you get from like a much more enclosed world. Like you're never going to see something that's as dense, right? Because they have to spread out that development effort. They're not like a GTA. They're not Rockstar either. They don't have that many employees. So, like, how do you, make a world like that? And man, everything I saw in that trailer looked really good. There's obviously a lot of people pointed out on the internet that there's reused assets from older games.
Tons.
That doesn't bother me. Like,
I saw
what you
people.
got.
I saw people being like, "It just looks like Dark Souls." I'm like, "Yep, that's what I want. I don't want not Dark Souls. If they make not Dark Souls, I'm gonna be upset."
Yeah.
Well, I do. I want Dark Souls Plus, right? I want more, right?
Which is kind of what this looks like it's gonna be.
Yeah.
Dark Souls Plus.
Yeah, that's what I want. So take everything that you used and then add to it, and like let's see what you can come up with. And they've made a compelling case for like this is a brand new experience that obviously has the DNA of Dark Souls and Bloodborne in it.
I always find that discussion like really weird as well when people say that about any game. It's like, have you played video games before? It's like, are you new to games? It's like reusing assets is not it's a sensible thing to a degree. It's like, if you're building on the previous series, like why would you not reuse certain things that you spent time crafting? It doesn't mean they're copying the game. It just means that like, hey, why am I going to make something from scratch when I could just take it from an asset pool?
Yeah.
Like this is how games are made. It'd be like saying, every time you build a house, no, you must make the bricks from scratch. You can't buy bricks. You got to make the
You
bricks
have
from
to
scratch.
personally cut the lumber yourself.
Yeah, exactly. How dare you?
You dig the clay.
Exactly. How dare you? You must make the glass.
Fire up the kiln.
I also think it's endearing seeing like the exact same animation that they've used, so like opening doors and stuff, and like the same sound effects. I think they know that's like part of the recipe,
It's part of the
aware of it.
recipe.
Yeah.
And like you have really awesome feeling combat. You don't need to fudge around and maybe make it less awesome. You can just add upon it. You don't need to add new animations and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to this. It'll be interesting to see what comes out. I know a lot of people are going to get to play. A lot of people are playing it now because they got like a press version of the
Network
technical
test.
beta, test beta,
Network test.
and then the network test. I think starts. Is that next week or this week?
I think
I
it's
didn't get
tomorrow.
This week on the
Tomorrow?
12th, I think.
I didn't get an
I've
email.
been
is
busy
it?
playing Forza tomorrow,
Well,
so
Yeah, I think it's the 12th. Yeah, 12th till the. It's like a 3-day window. I think basically over the weekend, effectively.
They didn't send me an
Dark
email
Souls
saying
racing
that I'm
games.
in the technical alpha.
I'm
so-
waiting for my email. Yep, I'm waiting.
I'll send you an email.
Congratulations, you're in.
All right, next up.
I really want to talk about. Last week, I talked a little bit about the Guardians of the Galaxy game.
Mhm.
I wanted to follow up on that because I finished it this weekend. My first impressions were not particularly favorable. I was not big on this game. I was only about 4 hours into it, and what I found as I continued on it is all the arguing and the bantering of the characters actually, it changed tone to the point where I began to really emotionally get invested in these characters, these formerly porn versions of the Guardians of the Galaxy. I really got into it. Like, these characters really grabbed my attention. I really fell in love with them, right? It's like they're so well created. They're so well written. I was really impressed with this game by the time I finished it. The game continues to be an absolute powerhouse graphically, and the combat gets better. It starts off as bad as it's going to be, and then as you earn new abilities and new special moves, it actually does get more fun, and you do feel like you are doing superhero things as opposed to just slowly shooting at millions of bullet sponges over the course of the game. By the time I finish this game, I think it's got one of the best endings I've ever seen in a video game. I think that it's just masterfully crafted. And I don't want to say anything else about it other than I really liked it, because I don't want to ruin that surprise for anybody. But this game, it does not make a particularly strong first impression, but that's partially because of the story it's telling. It's telling a story of, these Guardians of the Galaxy who they're together, but they're not really a team yet, and they're bantering and they're bickering a lot. But as the game goes on, they grow as individuals and they grow as a team. And that is really well written and really well portrayed in the game itself. And it ends up being a ton of fun. And I think, one of the best pieces of Guardians of the Galaxy fiction that's out there. Like, it's really strong.
Yeah.
Wow.
So if you like that kind of thing, I highly recommend this game. After last week, I was really not into it.
That's quite a 180.
Yeah, I'm telling you, the story is so good. The characters are so well done. Also, the animation of the characters really gives them life. That's really well done as well. So that when you're looking at at the talking head of somebody speaking, like, you really feel like it's a character, it's a person, as opposed to a video game character. They really did a masterful job. I think if they make a sequel to this game, there's definitely room for improvement in the combat. I'd love to see that second take at that, because the bones are there for something cool, but it gets better, but it never gets good. If that makes sense. But the rest of it is so good that it makes up for that in a big way.
Nice.
That just
That's
really
awesome.
brilliant.
So,
And then I also wanted to talk about the opposite of a Bloodborne game, a game that's currently on.
hold on. Before you get to that, do you now recommend buying it now, the Guardians, or do you still say, maybe wait for a,
I mean, it's a single player game, so you're not going to miss out on anything if you wait. Like, it's not an emergency. You're not missing all your friends playing it and playing it together. So, like, single player games, I think, is kind of like whenever you have time for it is a good time to jump in.
Yeah.
The game's inevitably going to go on sale. So, it's a $60 game now, $70 game, I think, on PS5.
Maybe it'll be on Game Pass in 6 months.
I think something like that.
So, yeah, at some point, it's a better financial decision always to wait.
Yeah.
Because unless you're talking about a Nintendo game.
Sure.
Which never go on sale.
Outriders launched on Game Pass, and did Marvel's? What was that Marvel's game?
Marvel's Avengers did as well, yes.
Did it launch on Game Pass, or did it come to Game Pass later?
No, it did not launch on Game Pass. It came to Game Pass, I think, over the summer.
So it's quite possible this could be on Game Pass in 6 months if you are apt to wait.
Maybe, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Well,
and there are some bugs in the game. Like I said last week, I lost the save, right? It just wouldn't load anymore. So that kind of stuff usually gets saved. That kind of stuff usually gets fixed pretty quickly. So it's never good to be an early adopter. You always get fucked as an early adopter.
Yeah.
Another game I want to talk about real quick. This game is called Unpacking. This one's on
yes, I played this.
Game Pass as well. Holy shit, this game is so fucking good.
I've heard. I've seen the clips on Twitter of people like putting the object on different surfaces and then different
Yeah, that was
places on the
insane.
different
Yes.
surfaces, and
Yeah.
all the sounds are totally different.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So this game, real
I love
quick,
the music.
it's a puzzle game where you unpack boxes into an apartment or a room or whatever, right? It's really simple. The brilliance of this game comes in the fact that it's telling a story of a woman's life through her unpacking. So it starts off, the first level is, her bedroom as a child. The second room is her dorm room in college, and then, she moves in with roommates, and then she moves in with a boyfriend. So you're just constantly kind of unpacking her life into this new, her stuff into this new version of life. And it's a really novel way of telling a story of somebody's life. And you can immediately connect to it because you've done this,
Yeah.
right? You have done this. You've been through this. You have moved in with a girlfriend or a boyfriend, and you've been like, wait a minute, there's no place for my stuff. You've made no accommodation for me whatsoever, right? And that's the thing you're talking about when you're moving in with her first boyfriend. You're like, she's an artist. She's a graphical artist of some kind, and like, she's in her last place, she had this home office where she had set up all her art supplies, and she had an easel, and she had a printer. And in her, when she moves in with her boyfriend, there's no place to put a home office. There's no place to do her art. She has to do it on the kitchen counter. Like, that's the only place available. There's no place to put her. There's no place to put her toiletries in the bathroom because he's got a bachelor pad, and that's what he's set up for himself. And now you're invading his space, right? It's a really fantastic way to tell a story. It's a one and done kind of thing, but it's really, really good. And then it's also got all these little Easter eggs. So like, if you put a toaster in the bathtub, then you get a little treat. You get like a little sticker and an achievement unlock kind of thing. And there's all kind of silly stuff like that. So it's fun to kind of it's fun to kind of move stuff around. It's really zen. It's really calming to do, but it's also really interesting. It's far more interesting than you might think by just looking at it and be like, I don't want to move for somebody. Like, that's not
for me. It was
not
just
my idea of a good time.
It was just a highly meditative game because you're just chilling. You're like slowly contemplating where you're going to put this book. Yeah. Like, that's great. Not everything has to be super flashy or explosive or anything like that. Sometimes you want just a chill game that you can literally lie down on the couch and play, and it's amazing for stuff like that.
And then there's this fun edge where she's a gamer, so she has video game consoles, and you get to kind of watch her progress because it starts in 1990s, and then it goes into into the modern day, and you get to kind of see her progression as a gamer with the consoles and the video games. It's pretty fun, and they're like, they're not licensed, but you know what they are.
Yeah,
close enough.
That's cool. That's really cool.
I thought it was a sweet game. Yeah, it was cool. It's on Game
Pass.
Pass.
Game Pass.
It's really good.
Yeah, I played it on the Xbox. Yeah.
How's it control with a controller? I use the mouse. How's it do with a controller?
Fine, actually. I was worried about that. I was like, is this going to be annoying with the analog stick? And then it was like, it kind of locks onto things a little bit, so it's slow enough to be comfortable and not break the meditation, Yeah. So
this is a really good game. Outwardly, it may not be appealing to you, but it's free on Game Pass. So if you have Game Pass, just download it and give it a shot. And you might really like this.
Isn't it amazing with Game Pass being able to do that? Not to sound like an ad, not to sound like an endorsement sponsor or anything like that for Game Pass, which we're not, but that's so cool to be able to just be like, I want to try this. In fact, Memes was like, I want to play some other games, and I was like, just pick what you want off the Game Pass. Just grab it.
Just go there, pick it. It's really it's an era of gaming that we haven't really ever been in, where it's just you have a library and you can just pay a fee every month and you can play whatever the hell you want.
Yeah,
it's
really cool.
Really interesting.
There's been times where I've really questioned whether I want to cancel my Game Pass, especially this summer where it just felt like there wasn't a whole lot coming out that I was interested in. And I'd like to see Microsoft get more games or more regular titles going on this, because there was this halo of Forza and Halo, on the horizon. coming out.
Right. You okay there, Briar? You're doing lots of puns there.
And but there wasn't anything I wanted to play. Like this really, it needs games coming out all the time.
It does, yeah.
And when there's slow spots, it's like, what am I paying for this? This is like what streaming services in general, right? It was like, I cancel Disney when there's nothing new on that I want to watch, right? It's like Mandalorian's coming back, so I'm gonna start up Disney again. And I think Xbox Live is very similar to me.
Yeah, I agree. It definitely has a lot of that. Given the amount of stuff that I've played over the year, I still feel like I would have saved money just having Xbox Game Pass than if I had bought all those games full price that I've played on Game Pass so far. So even with it being technically a quote-unquote sparse selection right now, I've still saved money.
But you'd save even more money if you canceled it for the 2 months that you weren't playing with it in the summer, right?
True. But I bought a Series X on the no interest plan.
That's true.
My Game Pass, my Game Pass Ultimate runs out in 2023. Yeah.
So, Lost Ark.
How is it?
It's great.
It's really.
Did you play it all weekend?
Yes, I did.
So
I sure did. How many hours do I have? Let me check. I currently have 24 hours.
Wow.
In the Lost Ark Beta.
So
it ends on the 11th.
Okay.
It's on the 11th, November 11th.
Can I ask what are the constraints of this beta? Is it a beta?
It's a technical beta.
Yeah,
technical
but
beta,
it is basically everything. You can go to like level 55, which is almost max. But you can get to once you get to level 50, you can get to like the end game stuff anyway. So you can experience pretty much the breadth of the content, to my understanding. In this game.
Does your character get wiped after this beta?
Yeah.
I believe so, yes.
Because they're giving you like free currency and stuff for you to, because they're wanting to test the store. They're more concerned with testing servers and the store and all that stuff. Because obviously the game's been out for a while, so they don't necessarily need to have beta testers come and test the game. But they need to test all the other stuff. And so with MMOs, I think the main issue early on with them is that there's a lot of learning. So there's a lot of like busy work while they're giving you tutorials on how to understand the game. But with what
warthogs and rats.
Typically that's what MMOs do. But because the combat in Lost Ark is so good, I think this is some of the best combat in any game, period.
Wow.
Please explain that to me, because when I look at this game, it's like this is point on something and click the button combat.
See, that's what Final Fantasy 14 is, and a lot of like you click on a thing and then you wait for your cooldowns and you press your buttons in a certain order.
Right. So what's different about this?
Cooldown simulator.
So you can't just click on the thing and attack it. Like you have to actually orientate yourself towards it. It's all about positioning. So that's a whole other layer that you have to worry about. But also just like the combat sounds so good. And there's not many games on mouse and keyboard that can differentiate themselves like between classes so heavily. Because when you're using a controller, like you have a bunch more feedback.
Right.
But it's so weird that in Lost Ark you can feel the abilities using a mouse and keyboard.
This is exactly what
I don't get it.
It's like you have no rumble, but you feel like there is rumble when you're playing, because you just have that nice hit lag where like you just because the thing is, sometimes in these isometric games you play things like, it's why I've never really, every time you talk about an isometric game, everyone's like, oh, you should play Path of Exile. I'm like, it doesn't appeal to me, because every footage I see of Path of Exile, you just cut through things like paper and there's not really any feeling for that. And I'm sure people enjoy the game, that's fine. But with Lost Ark, and even Diablo to a degree had that. Like when you get those end game builds and you're just laying waste to everything in a dungeon like it's like paper. But in Lost Ark, everything, even just the trash mobs, when you get like the trash mobs together and like you group them up and you like have a slight hit lag in your hit, but you feel that blade going through things and that you group everything. Honestly, the feedback you get from like performing those moves is, I haven't played many games that deliver that feeling.
Yeah, seriously, especially these types of games, right? Like you said, a lot of them do tend to be like, use your big powerful abilities and you get the fun from seeing like the big explosion and things going poof. But with this, it's like the feedback is really good. This audio design is incredible. So in terms of just the way that they've made combat feel, it's so good. And when I was picking my class, I went with Assassin. And in the beta, you have Shadow Hunter, and then you have a Blade. So Shadow Hunter, you can like use demon abilities. You can summon a big old demon fist and all that good stuff, turn into a demon. But Blade is more about like being fast and nimble and using lots of different types of weapons. And just between those two that are in the same class, they feel totally different.
Yep.
Which I was not expecting. So just the combat really it's just so fun to beat up on things.
Yeah.
And then as you get further into the story, you get to these super epic campaigns of like storming a castle and just hundreds of enemies, which is super cool. And then the dungeons get really cinematic.
Yes.
Really cinematic and fun.
Cool.
It's really good.
Sounds
yeah,
awesome.
honestly, like it has such a wide variety of content because you play throughout the game and obviously you have your regular missions and you have your dungeons and stuff. You get to end game and you've got like Guardian raids, which are like Monster Hunter style missions. You've got like other raids. You got like sailing and player housing and professions. There's just like the game just has so many different things. Yeah, I feel like it's. And I think like as well, the leveling experience is really good because I was sort of mentioning this before, but like so I played the Korean beta, I played the recent alpha, I played this beta, and so I've done probably about four runs now through the leveling experience. And normally in MMOs, like that's the part that is so boring. You're like, I don't want to do like 1 to 50 again. And admittedly, if I could skip past it, I still would. But because combat feels so good, you kind of just don't mind doing it. And if you want to do like the fast, mindless, I just want to level up and get through it, you could also this is why the game was so easy to play even in Korean, because you just go towards the gold objective, you spam G to skip through the text, you go to the next gold objective, but it flowed. But in between that, you're always doing the fun combat stuff. So even when you get into like dungeons and stuff, it's like, I don't need to fight these mobs, I can just skip them. You're like, but I want to fight them.
Exactly. Yeah.
And that whole experience is good. And then because the game has so many classes, they've introduced a system called like a power pass. So once you get one character to max level, you can then just spin up another one at max level again.
Nice.
I get the impression you get given one free power pass. Afterwards, they'll probably sell it. But still, regardless, it's a nice way of just like, getting you there. Because the game has got 5 base classes, which is warrior, martial artist, mage, assassin, and gunner. And then within that, you have the advanced classes. So like a warrior, currently the warrior has 3 to choose from. The martial artists and the gunners have 4. The mages have 2, and the martial artist has 2. So there's a lot of classes to choose from.
There's a lot.
And the Korean version's got even more, which eventually will get the rollout as well. So yeah, I honestly think it is. Yeah, it's a fantastic game.
It's just a really good game. Yeah.
Question.
Yes.
What are the microtransactions going to look like? Do you know?
That was my question too. How much is this game going to cost?
So,
really?
Interestingly, yeah. So at the moment, this is the thing. So I still have a completely clear picture. So my understanding, they put an article recently, which I need to catch up on, but they were saying about how, because in the Korean version there was talk of kind of people like some pay to win elements, which I think they were trying to strip out. I think my understanding from what we can see from the store so far, because they gave you a lot of credits, most of the stuff tends to be like cosmetic stuff or stuff that links to like player housing and stuff like that. There haven't been, to what I can see right now. But I haven't delved too deeply in it, so I don't want to say categorically. But there doesn't seem to be anything obvious in there where it's like you can buy power, you can buy XP boosts. I haven't seen anything like that. So, and I know they want to try and address that because I know in like Korea,
Right.
like has a slightly different model. So I don't have the exact answer, but from what we've seen so far, there don't appear to be any things in that realm.
Okay.
That's the thing is like with a game that has enough like things that look super cool, people are gonna pay money to get something that looks super cool. You know,
Yeah.
that's League of Legends is literally that. You buy super cool skins and they're bajillion-dollar company. So they don't need to sell anything that's pay to win. They could there's probably going to be things like pay to progress faster, like with the pass where you can just, maybe buy an extra one for your next 3rd class to get
Boosts
them
and
leveled up
stuff,
super
yeah.
fast. But in terms of it being pay to win, you're not going to have, especially in PvP, which is mostly what pay to win means. Because otherwise, who cares if you're like level 50 with all the best armor and you paid for it day 1? It doesn't affect anything. In PvP, everything is standardized, so that doesn't matter
Congratulations,
anyway.
you beat the video game without having to play it.
Yeah. Yeah. So I also haven't seen anything that is concerning in the store. It's like you said, I spent the free credits on like things to put on my island. I got a pet from there. You can buy like a boat, a different looking boat. Yeah. So so far it does not seem bad. There's also you can buy skins for your characters and all that kind of stuff. So
Yeah,
it's they'll make $1 bajillion just off that stuff.
I will buy all the skins.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, I will do that. You want? I can put a fountain in my house and I can pay for it. I might. I'll think about it.
That's what I'm talking about.
Are they still updating and adding more content to the Korean version? With it being
Yeah,
3
so there's
years
still
out
like recently they just added like another class, like another mage class and stuff. So there's quite a lot of there's like a whole completely new subset class that's like called the Lance Master, which is in there. There's like additional ones for the gunners and the warrior stuff. So yeah, there's plenty of new classes. They seem to be going in seasons and stuff, and it's had like a recent spike in players in the Korean version as well. So it doesn't seem like it's slowing down there. So I feel like it'll be a game that you jump into, and once you get through, there's going to be like Amazon has said they wanted to try and get a slightly better cadence on the rollout. So I'm hoping that we don't have to wait like 6 months for an update or something. So
interesting,
because yeah.
And it's like Eric said, the game just has so much content. Like even so, you get your own island that you can do a bunch of stuff with, and that's like, and then you could sell that game as an entirely separate game. It's like Animal Crossing, but in your video game.
Diablo.
This game is very scary to me, actually. It's like it sounds like it's going to be awesome in every conceivable way, but also like be one of those games that could just suck you up and it could be your only game for like 3 years.
Yes, that is definitely possible.
Definitely possible. But it's one of those games where I always knew it was a good game, but then as soon as I got my hands on the combat, I was like, okay, I totally get it. I understand it completely. And then I've just been playing it nonstop, and I can't wait to go play it again and level up and get new abilities and mess around with them. And something really cool that they do is you can put points into abilities, and then you can modify the way that ability is. So say I have a demon fist, you can have it be a larger AoE, you can have it add like more crit, it can add the electric effect to enemies, and you can change that whenever you want. Just whenever you want. You so much so that you can even like put a point in a thing, try it out, be like, no, get rid of the points, put it in the other thing, try it out. It's completely, there's a complete freedom with trying out different builds and stuff.
Nice.
Very much so appreciate.
I was curious about controller support. How
controller support is, if I'm not mistaken, the combat works fine with controller, but navigating menus is like it kind of gives you the cursor. So you can navigate menus with your mouse and then use a controller for combat if that's what you want to do.
And this is
I prefer to play Diablo style games with a controller, so that actually sounds good to me.
Yeah, controller. I mean, once you've gotten used to the controller experience, it's like classic hack and slash on a controller. It's nice.
Yeah,
you know?
That's the thing. Yeah.
Is there a console version coming, or is this only PC?
At the moment, only PC. They haven't said anything, so I don't imagine there's been no information on that at all. So
okay,
but
interesting.
Maybe that would be cool.
Yeah, this sounds like a very dangerous game for me.
So I haven't done any side quests. I've only done main quest. 25 hours in, and they're like, "You found the first arc. There's like 8,000 more to go," and I'm like, "Oh,
that's it."
Sounds doable.
Where's the content?
Got a while to go.
Yeah, where's the content? Yeah. So this comes out end of March, right? Officially for
March
Western.
March 31st, I believe, is the date.
Why do they?
Well, I'm glad it's not February 23rd or something like that.
Yeah, thank God.
Wouldn't it be awesome though if it was like January?
It would be awesome if it was
feel
December,
like January would
because
still be a bit too close, to be honest. About you, maybe.
Yeah, it might be.
I feel like right now is the time that we really need a big game, right? It's like
right now would be perfect.
Like I'm really looking forward to Forza tomorrow, but I don't think like that's the majority opinion on this podcast.
No, I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, I'm actually
Vanguard
excited to play
is coming out. Yeah,
Vanguard
Vanguard is coming out.
As well.
This is the least excited I've ever felt like the gaming community is for a new Call of Duty ever in my entire life. Like since
I didn't even know it was coming out.
Yeah, there's all these advertisements
is coming out, but
yeah.
November's
coming out.
November's kind of dead for the most part.
Yeah. It's really for me and Halo.
Yeah, Halo's the big one for me too. But yeah, I'm
true, true,
excited
true.
about that. I wish I was into Pokemon because it would totally fill the time. This month, this
Oh,
month
this new Pokemon game.
Yeah, Diamond Pearl Remix. That is in a couple of weeks, I think. End of the month.
Yeah.
Well, hey, when Lost Ark comes out, it's gonna be free to play, so you can always hop in and give it a try. And something cool that they do at the beginning is you kind of go into a practice area when you select your class before you select your advanced class,
Oh,
so you
that's
can play
cool.
around with all of them. You can make another character. You can just skip through the character customization, right, and just go in and try out and see which one you like. So it's
That's super
very
smart.
accessible to try the classes.
Yeah. I wish more games would do that because they were like, here, pick this class, and here's a little video of what it does. I'm like, I need to see how it feels.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Very impressive game. I've had some people who are game devs play it, and they're like, "Man, their sound design. I'm just feeling this."
Love a
It's
good
great.
sound design. Yeah.
Control C, Control V.
Yeah.
Anything else in games this week?
Did we want to talk about a Pinocchio video game?
Oh yeah,
That is
let's talk about this.
Yeah.
So there's a game called Lies of P, which it did get a trailer a little bit ago. I know Eric, you
It's the most
covered it.
emo way to say Pinocchio in my entire
Is
I've
it?
ever heard in my entire
Lies
The
of
Lies
P.
of P.
Yep. But today it got an official gameplay teaser. So this is a game that's coming out in 2023 on all, new gen. It's not going to be on last gen at all. And it is a Souls-like
Really?
action RPG inspired by the original story of Pinocchio. So I know probably people are like, "Oh, Disney Pinocchio, why'd you do that?" Well, the real story of Pinocchio is depressing and dark and awful. So
People
we were
probably die and
watching
get
through
eaten and
the
stuff.
yeah. We were watching through the gameplay trailer before the show, and we were all like, "This is major Bloodborne vibes." Like,
So Bloodborne.
it really is.
But kind of like discount Bloodborne too, because it doesn't look as good as Bloodborne on the PS4. But this is a PS5 game. It is running at
PS5,
4K 60, which
Yep.
is something.
I mean, I think it looks pretty good.
I think
It
it
sounds
looks
interesting though. Do you want some game details on it?
Yeah, give me
Yeah.
the deets.
So it says play as Pinocchio, a puppet mechanoid, and fight through everything in your path to find this mysterious person, but don't expect help along the way. It says you must lie if you hope to become human. So they said here that the lying concept, they say experience interconnected procedural quests that play out differently depending on how you lie. These choices will affect how the story ends.
Wow.
And the weapon making system, because of like Pinocchio being a doll, they say that you can combine weapons in a multitude of different ways to create something new altogether, research to find the best combinations, and make something truly special. And then it says here, special skill system. With Pinocchio being a doll, you can change parts of his body to gain new skills and hopefully an edge in battle. But not all the enhancements are for fighting, though. They can also be used to provide other things. So we saw, like in the trailer, like he seems to have like a grappling hook arm. Year of the grappling hook. So I'm just like, yo, that sounds cool. But yeah, it sounds quite interesting. This whole like mechanic of like, if you want to become more human, you got to start lying, and then it's going to change the game. It's gonna be like, woo.
Yeah. Very interesting.
Are all the enemies puppets as well, or like kind of mechanized?
It kind of looked like it, right? There was everything looked kind of doll-like.
Mm.
Yeah, it's creepy looking.
It's creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's super creepy looking.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm very excited to see more as it's coming out in 2023, so we got a long way to go.
Oh,
But
Jesus Christ. This isn't even worth talking about yet.
Hey,
And it's not coming out on February 24th. Unacceptable.
but they showed gameplay this early, which I highly appreciate.
True.
Because I can get super excited about a game, like the world looks dope and the characters look cool and enemies look cool, and then they show gameplay and I'm like, God damn it, it looks bad.
Yeah.
I don't even know if there's going to be a world in 2023. Never mind worrying about what games are coming out.
True.
Yeah, it looks interesting.
It does, yeah. Keep your eye on it. Looks very cool.
Yeah, Lies of P. It's kind of a bad
Lies
name.
of P.
Lies of P. You know, it sounds like Eliza P.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
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 What
of...
game was it that had the worst name? I'm going to Google search it real quick and see if I can find it. I'll get back to you.
Did you guys get a chance to take a look at the little, not little, but the experiment between League of Legends and Netflix, Arcane.
I
I
haven't yet.
did.
No,
I've
no,
watched
no.
all 3 episodes.
All right, what is your review of this? I want to know. Is it a good anime? Is it mediocre?
Okay.
What?
Well, it's not an anime. I wish
Okay.
it was.
What's the
But-
difference
Wait, I
then?
thought
if
it was
it's
a
not-
cartoon.
Yeah, well, what's the difference of it not being anime specifically?
Well, anime is made by a Japanese studio, right? That's what it's the
Oh,
name
so
is.
it's
It's a
just
Japanese.
racist cartoons.
Doesn't make any sense.
Anime means it can only be made in Japan for it to be considered anime?
Yeah, otherwise it's it's a cartoon or it's an
Cartoon.
animation, but for it to be anime, it's that word is specifically for Japanese.
It
created
specifically
content.
translates to
It's like champagne.
Japanese
Champagne
cartoon.
can only come from a certain region of France.
Okay.
Well, this is made by a French studio. So it's
So
a
it's the
French
champagne
animation
of anime.
studio.
Champagne.
Champagne. So for me, I've been playing League of Legends for like 8 years, and I understand it's a good show. Voice acting is amazing, animation is phenomenal. The writing is good, everything is good. The only problem is it's not really a story that I would gravitate to watch on my own, right? Like if it was, here's a story about this, I'd be like, I don't really care about watching it. If it like League of Legends wasn't there and all that stuff.
Sounds like anime to me.
It's but everyone else it's the best thing that's ever happened in the entire universe. But for me, I just don't really, it's not a story that I would watch. So for me, I could take it or leave it. I'm the only person who feels like this in the entire universe. So
Is it
don't let that
actually?
freak you out.
That feeling is weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like
Is it
being
act-
Guardians.
Is it in the League of Legends lore completely? Like, are these?
Yes.
Is like there are a bunch of characters in there that are definitely in League of Legends?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
So if you haven't watched if you haven't played League of Legends at all, you have no knowledge of it, it's just going to be a really good show for you. Like beautifully made. They've been making this for 6 years. It's been in the making for a freaking long time.
6 years.
6 years is a long time. That's game
Yeah.
dev. That's
That is game
time.
dev. My God.
Is it
So-
3D animation or is it hand drawn?
like both.
3D, I would assume.
But it looks both
But
because it looks like there's.
I don't know.
I saw the first episode and I actually really enjoyed it. It looks like it's a mix of 3D animation and then painterly backdrops in there, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah, so if you know nothing about League of Legends, you can definitely enjoy it. If you do know about League of Legends, you can probably look at characters and go, "Ooh, I bet they're going to turn into this person," because the lore of how champions are created in League of Legends, or you'll see a character and go, "Oh my goodness, that's a little Echo, that's little Jinx." It's so in that case, if you've played League of Legends, you can see all of the Easter eggs and you can appreciate that part of it. But if you haven't at all, you don't need to, and you can definitely enjoy it.
Yeah, so I have no idea about the characters. I vaguely recognize Jinx, because I see that on Twitter, but like I thought it was really cool. I enjoyed it. Memes and I watched the first episode. We're like, yeah, I want to see the next. I want to see the evolution of this. It's amazing. 6 years. I mean, it shows. It is highly polished.
It is highly polished.
Very polished animation, not anime.
And no me.
Yeah. America May. Or no, French May.
Well, the animation studio also did like the music video for KDA Pop Stars. So they've worked with the League before. Yeah. They've done a lot of really cool stuff. I actually, if anything, it makes me want to look into the other things that this animation studio has made because their style is very cool.
That often does like the League cinematics in general. Is that the same studio? Like they'll always have like one a season for like.
I don't know actually.
Okay, because they're always really good.
Sure.
Like I'm not really a League player, but I'll occasionally watch like some of those because they're just like really cool.
They are very very well made.
Yeah, I'm
Wait,
curious.
Chat right now is trying to decide if Transformers is anime. Watts, is Transformers anime?
No,
because it wasn't made in a Japanese studio.
It wasn't. I thought Transformers was Japanese.
Oh, it's the original, like, not the movie.
Well,
not the
obviously
American
not
movie?
the movie.
No, the old
not the movie.
1980s.
Talk about
Yeah.
the cartoons.
Oh, wait, you're talking about Gundam?
Yeah.
Gundam's a different thing entirely.
No,
I'm talking about Transformers.
Well, you just said Gundam.
Saturday morning cartoon.
I say
Transformers.
Gundam. I say Gundam.
Eric said, yeah.
Yeah, then yeah, Transformers.
Wow.
It just reminded me of the Olympics.
What
when they had the Olympics.
What if they put American actors as the voice of Optimus Prime? Is it still anime?
Yeah. Is it
What
made
if
by
one
is
American
show made
artist
by
works on it? Is it
Japanese
still
studio?
anime?
Congratulations, it's anime. Is
What
show
if-
not made by Japanese studio? Not anime. It's very simple.
What if
It's not a
the
difficult thing.
studio was founded by a Japanese person but hires all other places, outsources all the art?
I don't know. All I know is that I don't want my Republican people running for races watching anime anymore because they're putting out cringe stuff and I don't want to see it. Anime is banned. Is what we're
Anime
going
is
for.
banned from Republican.
We are. If you don't know what I'm talking about, oh dear Lord.
I don't.
Okay,
No
okay.
idea
I will
what you're talking
explain.
about.
I will explain. There was a Republican senator. I don't know who he is. He's Paul Gosar. I don't know who this guy is. He's representing Arizona's 4th district. Apparently, he put out
Sounds
a
grosser, you know what I'm saying?
put out a. I guess you could just call it propaganda.
Anime
Well,
propaganda?
where it's him mixed with Attack on Titan. And he's
Oh.
like about to kill Joe Biden, and he's showing like immigrants, implying that they're the Titans, I think is what he's implying.
Oh.
And it's really like the message I got from it was kill immigrants. So I don't know if that's what he wanted to go with.
That's a big yikes.
But this is officially you are allowed to gatekeep anime. Kick everyone out. You are now officially allowed to
Can the
gatekeep
Green
anime.
Party use anime?
No one can.
No?
It's now illegal. It just shows like the cowboys like rolling through the desert and immigrants. It's like, yeah, let's pick on the poor people who have bad lives. And
this is in the anime style or
I
cartoon style?
They're showing actual video of immigrants trying to make it to America.
Wait,
And then they show clips of Attack on Titan?
Correct.
Jesus.
Yes,
That is
correct.
awkward as hell.
Correct.
Which is confirmed anime.
Well, so
Oh, wait, maybe not.
no, it is.
Oh,
By using Attack on Titan, you are doing the biggest self-report in the history of humanity that's ever happened. Like, it's not. You don't want to say that you're like Attack on Titan.
No.
I have a feeling that this was done by an intern who's leaving, who knows the full story of Attack on
inside
Titan, and
job.
was like, "Hey, look, this is cool."
Oh
like,
no.
No. This is like, it's so bad that this is something that like someone would make as propaganda against the person running.
Oh my gosh. That's
It's
amazing.
so bad.
Quick question.
Jeez,
on
usually
the-
the Republicans are so in touch with the youth.
Oh God, don't do it, please.
quick question on the anime front again. Let's say you move, you're in America, okay, and you want to go make an anime, and you move to Japan, all right, and you set up a shop in Japan. Are you technically anime?
It's founded in Japan.
Yeah, but you moved from
founded in Japan,
America.
sure.
Yeah.
Boom. Loophole achieved. Let's go make some anime.
Be like, oh, they're hiring at this company. What's the stipulation? You have to move to Japan. Why? So they can call it an anime.
I'm gonna be the chief drawer of boobs.
You're the boob curator for the final print.
I just draw boobs. Everybody else draw the rest of them. The lady. I don't know how to do that.
So I guess it's settled. DCP is moving.
Lot.
DCP is moving to Tokyo to open up a anime studio.
I wish I could. And I
Perfect.
could pay people enough so they could afford a house or food.
That's crazy.
That'd be great.
Oh, is anime not a good?
Apparently, people have
doesn't
like
pay as well as dicks.
No.
They have to like set up a
Doesn't.
bunch of Patreons and stuff to get supported or whatever, or like GoFundMe's because
Yeah,
they
there's
hardly get any money for the work.
There's a couple. So normally how it works is like they contract people to do like a certain amount of scenes and you just get paid per scene. Doesn't matter if that scene took you 20 minutes or 10 hours. You get the same amount of money for creating a specific thing. There's now some companies, thank God, that are just like putting people on a wage so you get paid a good amount. But yeah, it's really bad. There's charities that raise money to provide housing for animators.
Do animes make a bunch of money?
Exploitive, such as just like the comic industry does.
Yeah. Does the anime industry like put out money a lot, or is it kind of a, Not so much. I don't know. I don't look at these things.
Like, how much money do they make?
Yeah, do they bring in a lot of money where they could
Yes.
easily be paying for these artists?
Oh yeah, definitely.
So it's once
Absolutely.
again just greedy people at the top. Got it.
You know how much that VHS copy of Trigun costs? It's like $90, man.
Damn. Trigun was great.
Well,
Yeah.
did we
Complete
solve
the
everything? Yeah. Did we complete
I still
SideQuest
got
and
questions
solve
about
everything?
anime, but I'll save them for next episode.
That'd be Nick.
Just go Google
Anime
it.
boobs specifically.
Anyway, actually, Bart, you're not allowed to
What's
talk
the
about
next watch
anime
on
or
anime?
look at anime because we are gatekeeping anime from now on. You're not allowed. I
I'm not
refuse to
allowed?
talk.
I'm not a Republican.
I
I'm not
refuse
in
to
the Green
talk
Party.
to anyone unless you pass a test. You have to pass an anime test, and then we can talk about anime.
If you'll remember, I did pass the test.
Wait.
That's a good point.
Yeah, I remember. Wait, who won that? What?
I don't remember.
I feel like I snuck out on top on that.
I don't remember.
Just
no.
by one question.
That's
I feel
something
like
a cop would say.
You know, I was
Can
watching.
cops watch anime?
We were watching 21 Jump Street, the reboot, which is hilarious. On
Oh my
Netflix.
god, that movie's fucking funny.
And Dave Franco
funny.
said, "Why would you say we're not narcs, or why would you ask a narc like only a narc would ask if you're a narc?" And I was like, "Freaking Briar, only a narc would ask if you're a narc." There it is. So,
That's something a narc would say, Tefty.
episode SideQuest episode 117. We have
wanna,
confirmed Briar is actually the narc.
If you want to follow some narc activities, which was hilarious, there was a video posted online by a cop who gave parents advice on how to search their teenager's room.
I saw that.
It's really funny. Apparently, this teenager, one, has a 5 o'clock shadow. Two,
Yeah.
is like a massive drug dealer, I guess. He's just
That teenager was definitely a narc.
Oh, man.
it's I can't even explain it. It's a silly video. It's
horrible. It's like
It's
horrendous
horrible.
to watch, but it's like you can't tear your eyes away.
yeah, they look in the journal and it says doodles and they drew like 420 and a mushroom. It's like, an indication of drug usage.
Oh, dear.
That is hilarious. Oh my gosh. All right. Well, on that note,
On that note,
We're
go
ending-
shake your kids for all their drug money.
that's episode 117 of SideQuest. Thank you very much for tuning in, hanging out. Shout out to our Patreon members and our Twitch subs for supporting the shows. You guys are awesome. And yeah, we'll see you next week. Talking Forza,
Yeah,
Vroom,
Elden
vroom.
Ring.
right? Yeah.
Oh yeah, the technical test. Oh,
Mm-hmm. I hope I get in. Fingers crossed.
me too.
All right. Bye, guys. Thanks for watching.
See you later.
Bye.